Hello everyone! Oh, my camera got resized. Hope everyone's having a wonderful night. Let's see if I can get this fixed real quick. There we go. And then scooch, looch, swoop. There we go. Don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm always prepared. Hey, Joker New Type. How's it going, man? Tau. I'm actually painting a few things tonight. I'm very much behind on my priming. Oh. Woody, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Go. Yeah, so I'm super far behind on my priming because I didn't want to start until I got everything set up because I wanted you guys to watch it. I think it's a lot of fun to see. Quick question. I'm thinking the music may be a bit too quiet. Let's turn it up ever so slightly. There we go. Now there's a little bit of ambiance, a little bit of heavy metal ambience. I was thinking about putting on some jazz tonight for this special occasion. Yeah, so what we're going to be doing is Battle Operation. Nice! I have to get into... I played Among Us the other night. It was a lot of fun. Also, coffee counts as hydration. So, Also, Smooth Jazz plus Gundam. Y'all know what that means. Yes. Actually, let me switch that real quick. Let's see what we got here. Stations. I got happy, pop, chill, epic, upbeat, synthwave, pretzel, rock, EDM, ambient, hip hop, hype, holiday. There's no jazz. Oh. Chill is probably the closest. We'll switch it up to chill. There we go. Awesome. So music is set. The other thing that I'm going to be doing is I've got my booth set up with my camera. So instead of having a top-down view, we will have this view. So y'all be able to enjoy some music and not that. Oh my gosh. Let's try that again. There we go. And I went ahead and set up the little tykes for you to mess around with while I paint. But yeah, so this is my current booth setup. You can see my brush off to the right and all my primers and fillers and stuff, pretty much anything I would need. I'm not going to be on mic too much tonight just because it's really hard to talk through the Bane mask. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it a little bit. I'm going to prep everything for paint and then be right back to it. Yep. Once I finish prepping everything, I'll turn off my mic. You will listen to music while I step over there and spray all kinds of paint. So right now, I have my Riptide that I need to prime. I also have the rest of my ghost-themed Piranha for my Tau army. And then I also have the parts from this Yakushiki, that one. So I need to prime those two because I'm, like I said, super far behind. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in reverse order. So the Hyakushiki first, and then I'll do the Warhammer stuff. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to start construction on my Dynamiz. So yeah. So this part is, it's not boring, but it's definitely the most tedious. It requires the most thought. Because the way I do this is I pluck everything apart and I put it on these little alligator clips with these little rods, and then those go into a cardboard folder. So what I have to map out is where is the part going to be held by, and normally I can just like attach it to, like on this piece, I'll attach it to one of those little nubs right in there, and that's fine. We want to make sure that it's secure enough so that the part doesn't accidentally pop off. So even if I accidentally bump it a little bit, it's not going anywhere. But if it didn't have a good enough grip, then like I could be painting this and then all of a sudden it flies off and then my paint job is ruined. I don't want that at all. So first things first is we're going to go ahead and apply clips, and then I will put these in the pegboard. and then I will head on over and start painting. But for right now, I am at your disposal. What questions do y'all have, if any? Okay, I'm a little Gundam. Yes, you are. Mm-hmm. So, the way I clean my parts is it's a jewelry cleaner, but it's just Dawn dish soap. And that gets all the dust and debris off. And as I'm painting, I also have a little brush over there. So if I notice any dust on the part, I'll brush it off real quick. But that's why I keep them in this bin, so they don't normally get dirty. Not easily anyway. And the other thing is that, like, for this piece, I'm not going to disassemble this all the way. I'm just going to leave this as is, because you don't really see this. I'm still going to paint it, but you're not going to see most of the parts in here. So it doesn't matter if it doesn't look as clean as the rest. And then these are really easy to find a mounting point, because you just mount it on the peg that holds it. How do you feel about the all-in-one airbrush kits from Amazon? Typically, you get what you pay for. I'll say that. I've received a little bit of criticism because I think that it's important that you get a brush that is high enough quality that you don't learn bad habits. When you have a tool that works, but it doesn't work as well as it could, you learn how to compensate for that tool. So, like, for example, if you're driving in your car and your car isn't aligned and it starts drifting, your muscle memory kicks in and you develop I need to constantly have my wheel turned a little bit. It's the same thing with an airbrush. A good starting airbrush that won't break your bank is a Badger Patriot. They're like $70-$80 on Amazon. It's an American company, great brand, great customer service. They're built like trucks. I would definitely go that route before I would go like the all-in-one kits, like from Global Pneumatics or Global Airbrush, I think is who makes them. So I use a pancake compressor that I got from Harbor Freight for like $50. It also puts air in my tires. I just have a regular air on it as well. So when I spray, I only spray about 15 to 20 PSI. And then I have a moisture trap mounted on the wall over there. So any compressor will work. You can buy a tankless air compressor. The problem with that is that they run constantly while you're using them, and they don't maintain a consistent pressure. So what you'll get is you'll be spraying and the compressor is running to keep the pressure that you set it at, but there's always going to be like little spurts where it doesn't stay consistent, and your airbrush is going to sputter onto your piece, and then you have to go back over it. So they work. They're not the best, but they do work. But in my mind, if I'm going to be buying a compressor anyway, why not get one that I can use like a brad nailer with, or a compressor to fill up my tires, or do any other pneumatic work that I need and do my airbrushing. That's actually how I sold it to my wife. I was like, hey, you said you want a new trim around the door, right? I need a brad nailer to do that, so need an air compressor, da-da-da-da-da-da. So that's how that conversation went, which is absolutely true. Another thing is that as I'm clipping these parts, I'm clipping them by color first. So I'm doing all the inner frame first, and because those are going to be my steels. So what I'll probably do is I'll prime, and then I'll switch immediately over to the steel colors to paint, and we'll just do the inner frame tonight. I think that's what I'm going to do. You're painting a Wally themed bot. It should be up on your page tonight. Nice. Wally. For someone who wants to use their Gundam markers up first, would you recommend the marker airbrush? I've used it. It's really impressive for what it does. But again, it's a single action, so there's not a lot of control. I want to make this thing that color. It's that color now. You can do some shading with it. It's tricky though. If you want to use them up, you can actually buy an adapter. Like, I'm waiting on mine to come. You can buy an adapter where it clips onto the nozzle of your airbrush, and you stick the Gundam marker into it, and it works with any standard airbrush. So if you wanted to use Gundam markers with your normal airbrush, you could. You would just have to buy that third-party add-on. Because the way that a Gundam marker airbrush works is, so a normal airbrush, you have a cup, and then it puts paint into a cavity, air flows through that cavity and throws it onto the piece. For a Gundam marker, it's basically the wet nozzle is pushed up against an air spout and air is sprayed through the tip. So the other trick you run into is consistency, because if the marker is dry or if it's not mixed right, you're going to see those inconsistencies on your piece. So whenever you're trying to decide like what type of airbrush to get, or like what kind of colors, or how you're going to go about painting, it's always worth to take into consideration what the end result is going to be, and are you going to be happy with it? Like I said, this is the like least fun part. So like, for example, this part, this arm, it has these two pieces here for the coupling, and then the elbow joint, and then the upper arm piece. So what I'm doing is I'm popping these apart. I'm going to separate them, and then I'm going to reassemble these two pieces, and then I'm going to clip that little rod right there in the middle. And so what I'm going to do is when I paint, when I do my inner frames, I typically do them in two-tone. So I'll do one shade of like metallic steel and then a lighter shade, so a darker and a lighter. Some parts are going to be the lighter color, some parts are going to be the darker. Because the goal that you're trying to accomplish with painting and with anything is you want to add more for the human eye to look at. If you just put like, think of a Zaku. A Zaku is green and it's sitting on your shelf. That's it. But then you add the pipes. Okay, that's another element that you can look at. Oh, you added a glass mono eye. That's another element to look at. Oh, you added decals, more elements. The longer the person has to stare at it to take it all in, and the better it looks, that's like a mark of success, in my opinion. I like Gunpla. No, you are not missing anything. I am currently clipping up all the parts and just talking. Also, this stream will be available on my Twitch channel afterwards if you miss any of it and want to go back and watch it. Also, I will be uploading this stream to the YouTubes, assuming that my video doesn't get flagged and all the other fun stuff. And another thing that I get asked a lot is, like, for polycaps, do you take them out or do you leave them in? Now, I leave them in, but that's kind of seen as a taboo. And the reason is that the paint has a tendency to dry out the polycaps. So all I have to do is, like, when I'm painting, is just be careful not to hit them so hard. It's okay to get a little paint on them, but, like, not super lots of paint. And again, a lot of it's trial and error. So like you try and clip it there, and then you try and clip it there, and then you try and clip it there. Like, that's all it is. You're trying your best to figure out where's the best place to... HBro84. How's it going, man? Welcome to my stream. And then the other thing you can do is, if you can't find a good place to grip, like for example this piece, there's not a good place to grip it, so what I'll do is I'll shove the polycap onto the little rod. Oh, I have to hydrate now. I'm gonna drink coffee, and I'm super blurry. Come back. Focus. Come on, camera, focus. Thank you. I appreciate you. But yeah, the more pieces you can keep assembled while you paint, the better, as long as it doesn't take away from the overall quality of the final piece. Because one of the other things you can accomplish with taking pieces apart, okay, that's not fair. I raised the prices. It's expensive now. Why are you doing it to me? Ugh. Do it again. Oh, but I'm just gonna have to, like, control how quickly those go out. Y'all have too much disposable income. That's what I've decided. My channel name is twitch.tv/iSnapPlastic. I_snap_plastic. And then there's also a lot of people debate about whether or not to paint the inner frame. I like painting the inner frame because even though it may not be visible, plastic bits are free though. That's fair. I mean, you're committing your time to be here and watch me, so I value your time. There's debate on whether or not you should paint the inner frame. I think you should, but that's just my personal opinion, because while it may never be seen, I think it adds aesthetic. Couldn't find me, but it's in my bio under my link tree. I made sure of it. I am present. There are some artists who they do some really detailed work on the inner frame, like gorgeous stuff. And then they'll only paint half the armor, so it's like a split view of the kit. There's that one. All right, let's see what else we got in here to do. Oh, come to you. You only found D&D. Let me check this real quick. Now you got me freaking out. Alright, on my profile, I go to Linktree. Linktree loads. I tap the Twitch icon down at the bottom. And it takes me to my channel. I like Gumpo. What you doing to me, man? What you doing? Driving me insane. Making me question my sanity. I'm on to you. I'm on to your games. H-Bro, thank you so much for this subscription! Thank you for funding my plastic addiction. Oh, Prime subscription. Nice. I painted my RG new inner frame just to give it the Vercos Psycho Frame feel. Yes, I love it. Getting the MG Barbatos for my birthday. Ooh, happy birthday. Super hyped for this. It's in the slideshow. This way, it will come up. It's the black Barbatos I did. I loved that kit. It's so gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous, dog. What's this? Woo! San the Shrine Fox is now following. Thank you so much, San. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us this evening. Oh, also hands. Alright, so quick update. I'm almost done. I promise. I know you came here to watch me paint stuff. Oh, I can show you what it's going to look like. Because I did a couple test pieces. So this is the look that I'm going for. This metallic blue for the armor. So instead of being this gold color... Oh! I haven't posted anything there yet. But, so instead of being gold, it's going to be like this. So that's going to be the color change that I'm going for. I'm happy with how it turned out. I just hope that it looks good when it's all over the kit and not just on a couple parts of it. I apologize, I like Gunpla. I thought you were talking about my Twitch channel. No. So once tonight's stream finishes, I will take the video from it, edit it, and post it to YouTube. And it will be the first YouTube video that I put up. I also have a couple tutorials that I want to run through, so that will probably be next. But yeah, the MG Barbatos is such a fun kit. Oh, and I got notifications that, oh, Super Meathead. I remember that game came out. I should play that. Oh, does anyone in chat play Among Us? I may have a slight addiction. Because, like, I've been playing the past couple nights, and yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I love it so much. The tricky part is finding enough people to play with. Because, like, typically there's, like, 3 or 4 people that are on. Let's see if my computer can run. It's pretty easy to run. I'd like to see more of your early battle damage and weathering stuff. That's the plan, because TikTok's nice, but it's really difficult to condense a full, like, tutorial into a minute. So yeah. There was actually a rumor going around that we were going to get 3-minute TikToks for a bit, but I'm like, oh boy. But I also want to make sure that I'm kind of staying true to my, like, one of my biggest frustrations is when I watch a YouTube video for instructional purposes, and the presenter talks and 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 then gets to it. It's like, come on, give me the goods. I came here for knowledge. Give it to me. But yeah, like the bullet battle damage, the beam saber damage, all those fun things that I like initially started out on TikTok with. I definitely want to do those. I just want your links for stuff, yeah, absolutely. Those vids would have got me hooked. Oh, thank you. That's always fun to hear. There's always a question in my mind of like, did it do its job? Did I do good? It's like, yes, I did. I did okay. Saw a Starscream in your slideshow. A few of those in Transformers gets my little publisher. Oh, so the one in my slideshow is actually Thundercracker. I do have Starscream up here. I'm gonna paint him up like, oh gosh, the black and purple one. What's his name? Skywarp. Yeah, I want to paint him up like Skywarp. They're okay. They're not bad, but they're not great. There are a couple like inconsistencies. The poly caps are really stiff. So like, that's just something to be mindful of. Push you destroyed Zaku. Very nice. Okay. I have successfully clipped all of my parts. And so now I have a bouquet of plastic. So, come on. There it is. So these are all the parts for the inner frame for the Yakuyoshiki. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the other camera. I'm going to mute this mic. And then I'm going to start painting. I will be wearing a respirator and safety gloves because safety first. I value my lungs. So I'm going to switch over and I'll see y'all in a bit. Talk amongst yourselves.
weighs a lot.
Wow. So while it was over there covered in safety equipment, it looks like we got some new followers and subscriptions, and thank you so much. Whew. The respirator does a great job of keeping my lungs safe, but it dries out the air. So I'm very parched. I also appreciate that y'all weren't redeeming all those hydrates, because I'm going to do that now. True Flake, I'm glad you like the RG New. Hello. I was born in Gambla. I think I had my desktop music too high. That may have been one of the reasons that I sounded super quiet. I should sound normal volume now, I hope. Anyway. Ooh-wee. Shadow1W2, thank you very much for the sub, man. So, right now, what we got going on is, let me switch back over to that view. Alright, so right now, the parts are gassing off, and what that means is that you'll notice that some of them are shinier than the others. Some have like a matte look. Matte means that the paint has completely cured and I can move on to the next painting process. If it's still glossy and shiny, it means the paint hasn't fully cured yet. And if I put more paint over it, it's going to dissolve and flake off and be a mess. I use Mr. Surfacer 1500, and it takes about 30 minutes for the parts to successfully gas off. So you can see where like the first parts I painted are pretty like chalky looking versus the ones that I just finished painting are kind of glossy and still kind of shiny. A way you can accelerate that process is by hitting it with a heat gun. But I typically don't like to do that. Just because when you speed up the curing process of the paint, because it's not drying, it's curing. When you speed it up, you run the risk of getting an orange peel effect, which essentially is like when you see like really wrinkly paint jobs, they painted it too thick and it bubbled as the fumes were gassing off of it. But yeah, I'm actually almost out of primer, so I will probably have to mix up a new batch here tonight, maybe? I don't know. I also think I'm going to mount a mic over there, just so I can talk to y'all, because I was trying to engage with you through chat, which was nice, but at the same time, it was kind of like, I need to pause and then tap the dictation button and then try and get it to go off. Okay, now I want to do that just because it looks like it's so much fun.
I was born in the Gundams. You merely adopted them.
So that's interesting. I thought that the spraying, and it's actually, you don't hear much of the spraying sound. It's mostly the fan. I built an airbrush booth out of a 30-inch Mechanics Tech cart. And so it looks awesome, but it's very loud because the fan is very aggressive. Try putting a small wireless mic inside the mask and make me sound like Vader. I may have to try that. That sounds awesome. I'm also using NVIDIA's new RTX software so that it cuts out a lot of the background noise, which is nice. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out, I'm so happy that I finally get to share this process, because typically, y'all see the building process. That's easy. I point a camera at it, and that's what it is. This is a unique kind of approach. Do you have a variable speed controller here? Nope. It's one speed. It's super fast. You know, the RTX software may be able to handle it. And I could just swing the boom arm over there, because it's not that far. It's only like 4 feet. Maybe I'll try that. Next week. Next week we'll try that. But what I should probably actually do, I did a tour video of it on TikTok a while ago, but one of the other problems with TikToks is that once you make it, it gets buried pretty easily. Yeah, I've been using Corsair VOAD Pro headset when airbrushing. No one has fans. Okay. Okay. I'll have to try that because I've got a Razer headset. Will this reach? Nah, that won't reach. I'll have to give that a shot though. I want to, like I say, I want to interact with y'all as much as possible, still being able to get stuff done. That still looks kind of glossy, unfortunately. So when I was spraying, there's a couple different techniques that people like to use when they use an airbrush. What I like to do is I like to first hit it with a light dust coat to kind of get purchase and kind of like dust over the entire thing. And then I go back over and I hit it with like consistently higher coats. I will probably hit that with a second coat of surfacer just to make sure I've got all the like little nooks and crannies covered before I hit it with silver. But I'm not sure. It depends. I won't know until it's completely dry. And the other part is that it's already a dark plastic, so it's kind of difficult to tell. The nice thing about the surfacer though is that it acts as a base coat, a really nice base coat for glosses. Someone was asking if I need to sand parts before I paint. The only time I've ever had to sand parts is if there's little dits or indentations in the plastic. As long as there aren't any of those, I have never had to sand. On older kits where there's a lot of like pock marks and imperfections, yeah, it's a good idea to lay down a coat of surfacer, sand it, and then repeat the process until it's all nice and smooth. Because any of those pock marks or imperfections are going to show up, and it's gonna be bad news bears. So, yeah. Thank you for the follow, Trickster C9. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try that headset idea. I think that'll work. Maybe. Maybe. Can you turn the music down? That's hard to hear it. Absolutely. I can turn it down. Quiet. Pretzel Rock. Silence. It was also spamming my chat. I may have to switch back over to Spotify. Okay, who did your overlay transitions and then Noda animations? I scoured Fiverr and I picked up a couple different artists. I actually just finished uploading my emotes, so I'll have emotes hopefully sometime soon. I saw that, Asian. I will definitely take that into consideration and do some maintenance tonight. So I think I'm gonna undo Pretzel Rock and just switch over to Spotify. I found a really cool way to integrate like the Spotify playlist function into the overlay so that you see the song title and all other fun stuff. Pretzel Rock, its build is like, it's really cool. I don't know if I like it though. It seems like it's more trouble than it's worth, especially when having to control the volume and stuff. But yeah, there's 6 emotes. I uploaded them through Twitch, and now I'm just waiting on the whole approval process, which I've never done before. So that'll be exciting to see what happens. Thank you, Trickster. I'm also noticing that for some reason I am also saying that someone has followed me after Streamlabs has said that someone has followed me. So one of us is going to have to go, and it's not me. I'm staying here. Yeah, on YouTube, there is a creator called Harris Keller? He does a lot of YouTube videos that focus on stream development. He created a few playlists that I used originally, but I was trying Pretzel Rocks out. I think I'm gonna switch back over to him just because I like the flow better. I like the songs. It's not as, I don't know. I think it's just purely a preference thing. It's also Sunday and I am fried. Well, thank you, Trickster C90. I appreciate you coming by. I hope it's living up to your expectations. So yeah, we got emotes. I added some more items to the merch store. I added a mouse pad to the merch store because everyone seemed to like my map. And then I am contracting Rockin' Monkey, the people that do my stickers, to do some custom ones just for Twitch. So I'm going to start giving those away on stream. As a matter of fact, if you go down into the plastic bits section, there should be a community goal set up that you guys can enter to win. Silverlock, good evening, my good sir. 25 Gundams build. That is a healthy backlog. Definitely worth digging into. Yes. So I think that the way my schedule is going to go is Tuesday night is going to be build night, Thursday night is side 7, and then Sunday night is going to be paint night. I think I may also throw in either Wednesday night or Friday night is going to be game night, because I've been playing Among Us and it's so much fun. It's tricky because I don't lie well. I play dumb really well, but I don't lie well. So that's been an interesting experience. But I should play with Shop Goblin and a couple other TikTokers, and hijinks and hilarity ensues. All right. I think we're safe. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop back over there. Let me do a stream. Yes. I'm going to hop back over there. We're going to continue on painting. Good luck in your ensuing combat with your little miniatures. And yeah, let's see if we can get the silver laid down, make it look nice and pretty. I think I need to solve some of my backlog. It's reached a point where it's no longer reasonable expectation. Okay, if you, Meijin, if you do that, please talk to me first. I have a problem. I'm okay if you help me with that problem by making it worse. All right, let's hop back over there and let's get to work.
I took your advice and I banned Pretzel Walk.
Let's go ahead and turn that down. There we go. Whew. Silver Lock is absolutely right. The Badger Patriot is an amazing entry-level airbrush. I actually have one still. I keep it in case my water breaks down. But what I did is I wanted to show you something. So this was the first color I painted. See how it's kind of like that dark steel color? And this is the second color. If you look at them individually, they both look like steel. But when you lay them over the top of each other, they add a degree of contrast. So that's that like level of intricacy that you're looking for. These two, stainless steel and steel, I probably use the most of those colors because I paint all my inner frames with them. One thing I will also do occasionally is I will add a little bit of dark bronze. SMS makes a dark bronze paint. I will add that to the stainless steel to make it even just a little bit darker. It kind of makes it look like a motor oil, and I will hit different areas of the kit to highlight it ever so slightly. But yeah, that's my painting process. The metallics, especially with SMS, they're very, very thin. In contrast to like colors, they they go very quickly. So you have to have a lot of trigger discipline as you're spraying. Actually, that reminds me. So a couple things about airbrushes. So this is what's called a gravity feed airbrush, which means that paint comes in this cup and then air comes up through this hose or this nozzle through the body and then in this chamber right here at the tip. That's where it mixes and it aerosolizes it and throws it out. A couple people are mentioning in chat that they have jars with their airbrushes. Those are called siphon feed. The way that those work is that essentially, I'm not going to tip this over because is there? No, it's fine. So they kind of look like this. Imagine that this is your glass jar, or imagine that this isn't there and the glass jar is attached right there. Those use air pressure to pull paint up, kind of like as you're drinking from a straw, from the jar into the nozzle, and then it aerosolizes it. I like siphon feed airbrushes for priming because it's all the same color. they're not the best in the world for a lot of color changes. So like for example, with that one, I just dumped out the first color and then filled up the second one and then started spraying. With a siphon feed, you have to disconnect the jar, you have to flush it. It's a mess. If you're just going to do one color though, they're really nice because you don't have to constantly keep refilling your cup. What frame were you painting? I missed that part. Oh, I am painting the inner frame of the Hayaki Shiki, so the golden boy. I just did his inner frame tonight. Next Sunday, I'll be painting out the actual armor, and that's going to be a little bit more intense because that's going to involve some masking. Because I am doing a two-toned ice blue effect. And then I will assemble it, and then we will add photo etch parts. And then after I add the photo etch parts, we will add the metal detail up parts that we built kind of in that initial venture. Do you use this paint straight from the bottle, or were those thin? The thing I like about SMS paint is they come pre-thinned. When you thin paints, the consistency you want is almost like soy milk. If you've ever poured soy milk into a glass, or not soy milk, rice milk. You pour your rice milk into a glass, and then you see how it clings to the side of the glass. Yes, Majan, like I just use SMS. I don't spray with any other colors. My paint track is filled with them. They actually sent me one of their prototypes of Inca Gold. And oh my gosh, it is gorgeous. I actually, one sec, let me grab it real quick. So this is their new gold, Inca Gold. And one of the things that when you are shopping for paint, what you look at is, if you look at the paint, if you can see the sparkly bits like the glitter, that's an indication that it's not going to be a high quality paint. It's going to look like you basically threw glitter onto your piece. However, if they're very fine, if it almost looks like a fine dust, that's what you want. So this was the gold that came out of that. And like, I hope the camera's doing it justice, because dear God, it's gorgeous. And it took, I was able to spray pretty much my entire inner frame with a single cup of paint. The coverage is amazing. It is very pretty. It's very pretty. I've gone from only Model Masters to only Tamiya to 8020 Mr. Hobby Tamiya, and now adding a bunch of SMS. Yes. Gaia Notes is also a good brand. Also E7. I've sprayed with those too. But by far, SMS is my favorite. Yes, I gotta do a paint demo stream for them. And use a bunch of their shift paints. Oh my, yes. Oh my gosh, the flip paints and the shift paints are so much fun. The armor of this is gonna be a green-blue flip paint. Yeah. Now, the only tricky part is finding a stockist in the US is a little bit tricky. I know that USA Gundam Store stocks them. Gundam Pros, maybe stopping them soon. Also, my stream is sponsored by Gundam Pros. Use code ISNAP10 to get 10% off your order and fuel your own plastic addiction. But you can buy from them directly. I usually buy a ton, and they ship it from Australia. So I buy enough where they pay for shipping, but it's a lot. Yes, because they are an Australian-based company. It does take a bit of time to get there, but the customer service is amazing. Like, I love it so very much. So very much I love it. But yeah, so this, the Inca Gold, is going to go onto my Turn X Gundam. We may start working on that one next week if we don't start building Dynamas on Tuesday. I'm going to be painting him up kind of like a Spartan warrior. So I took the beam tomahawk from my RG Sazabi, and I'm going to put it on his head so it's like that Finn horse mane thing. And then he's going to get a bronze gold kind of paint finish with a turquoise kind of dusting to give him a patina. Yeah, Molotov is something else. And like the tricky part is like, so when we talk about paint, there's a couple different types. So SMS is an acrylic lacquer. companies like Citadel or Army Painter, I'm pretty sure those are water-based acrylics. A patina? Yes, as a matter of fact. I keep saying, as a matter of fact. So this is just my a 1/100 scale grays, but you can see this was my test paint. So with the cracked armor and like a light blue dusting on the edge. And this was the spoon that I did as well. So you can see how it's nice and shiny, and then on the edge there's just a touch of turquoise to give it that patina look. So the entire turn X is going to look something like this. But yeah. Nice. Oh, great. Wow. Another spoon painter. I'm starting to think that's a whole another subgenre. I keep all my spoons. I am a collector. I paint spoons. I paint spoons could be your color testing side account. Oh gosh. Maybe I'll make that be my OnlyFans account. I paint spoons, and it's just pictures of Gundams without armor. That's what my OnlyFans would be. But yeah, no, spoons are by far and away my favorite. Like, I've had a couple people like say, I use forks. Forks don't have enough surface area. You need to have spoons. One thing that I got to that doesn't come standard with this airbrush that I really like, this is a quick release valve. So I used to have to unscrew the whole thing, and now instead I just like clip it, and then I can take it off and clean it. What you saw me pouring into the airbrush, that was acetone. Acetone is a really powerful cleaner for lacquer-based paints. It strips it very easily. Spork. No, sporks are silly. Sporks aren't... No, we're not doing that. Same. I have a bunch of spoons and I labeled them. Have you tried any of the Armor Komodo powders? I haven't. I've wanted to. Paint's kind of like... I treat paint kind of like my Starbucks order, though. I'm always nervous to try and change it because I'm like, if I change it... Oh, what's going on? Why is that doing that? There. Oh, God. Go back. Don't do that. Fine, I won't mess with you. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, right there. Okay. I started using brake cleaner for cleaning my... Good gosh. I would recommend acetone before brake cleaner. Good glory. I used to buy acetone just from the salon, like the beauty supply store. I now go to Lowe's and I buy like, it's in the paint thinner section. It's like the old-fashioned steel style. Brake cleaner is acetone basically. It's just pressurized. That's excessive. I agree. Hey. Oh, good golly. All right, I'm fried. We got about 9 minutes left. I want to raid someone. I feel like I want to spread a little bit of joy in this world. Let's see who's on tonight. It's acetone and CO2. See, that bothers me. One, it bothers me because it's marked up so much, just because that's what I'm doing then. I am spraying brake cleaner out of my airbrush when I clean it. Let's see here. Who is on tonight? Good grief, George. Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah, let's go ahead and raid Good Grief George. If y'all are cool with it. Good Grief George is a friend of mine. We used to play D&D together. He's a really fun TikTok creator. He used to be known as the Riddler. Yeah, nice. I finally got 2 spoons to work, and they're so pretty. Now, see, now I have to do it. All right, so I'm going to initiate a raid on my friend Good Grief George. It would make my heart sing if, as we raid, you could say you are now being boarded by iSnap Plastic. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Or something along those lines. Let's go ahead and get this started. All right. All right. Where's my creator dashboard? There it is. All right, here we go. Raid channel. Vallejo Gloss Black Primer Spray. Let it sit until barely tacky. Zen Powder. That sounds awesome. Great channel. Good grief, George. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to raid the Principality of... Yes. You are being raided by the Principality of Ice Now Plastic. I love it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for watching me spray. Show up Tuesday as we continue construction on something. Maybe Dynamis. Maybe. Meh. But say hi to Good Grief George for me, and y'all have an amazing night. Thank you.